one, and we're live with another edition of hashtag beFABULOUSyou Friday. And our subject matter today is understanding. And I think about the fact that a lot of times I'm like, I don't understand. And I try to understand. And I also think about the fact that sometimes I'm Angela. The channel is beFABULOUSyou. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. So hashtag beFABULOUSyou Fridays is just about talking about and exploring ideas, concepts, processes, experiences that can contribute to our growth as people for the betterment of ourselves, our families, our communities, and the world. So I'm talking about understanding today. And and I also think about the fact that sometimes when I hear other people's take on situations, I realize that my take is very different and my experience is very different. I think that there was a time, particularly I can remember one critical situation or a relationship where I had a very difficult time understanding my father and why he behaved the way that he behaved. I found my father to be very money oriented. Hey, welcome on the chat. I found my father to be very money oriented and materialistic in terms of our relationship. And a lot of times I felt like I didn't get what I needed. I needed him to be there for me when I was participating in things, or that was my determination of what I needed. Of course, the universe gives us exactly what we need, but I felt like, when I'm in a play, when I'm starring in a play, I need you to be there. I need you to be there, not just when I'm in a beauty pageant, but when, I'm being honored for my intellectual prowess. I need you to travel and buy suits and be a part of that as well. Good evening, Fabulite. And I just kind of felt like, it seemed like my father had some challenges with being there for the things that I felt that he should want to be there for and that he should be there for. And then, even locally, I felt like he was good for giving me money, which, there's nothing wrong with money, but I felt like I wanted him to give me time, and I wanted him to honor me, not just with money, but with being a man of his word. So if he said he was going to be someplace, like at an event of something that I felt was important and an important reflection of who I was, then he should be at that event, not just say he was going to be there and then not show up. So I just really had a difficult time understanding it, to the point where, I got to a place where I was like, well, I really don't need, this person in my life. I don't need to have somebody in my life who does not value me for the core of who I am, who cannot show up for me for the things that I think are important. So I'm just not going to deal with him. So I don't even know if it was 10 years or 20 years, 15 years, but there was a long period of time when I did not talk to my father. And, I was very angry, and I kind of felt like, I know that, I have a first cousin whose father is no longer alive. And I have other people in my life who I'm very close to, whose father, for most of their life was alive, but did not choose to participate in their life in any way or be a part of their lives in any way and claim them in any way. And so I think to those people, it almost seems selfish and ridiculous and foolish for me to have a father who was alive and wanted to be a part of my life. However, he was showing that he wanted to be a part of my life, for me to, have rejected him and cut him off and, not participate, in that relationship in that way. As I did work on myself, coming to understand myself. And when I'm talking about understanding and understanding myself and understanding other people and understanding life, I'm talking about understanding the totality of what things are, who people are, what situations are. So, even if we look at this country, there are some things in the history of this country that are progressive, that we can embrace, that, are wonderful, we can be proud of. And then there are some things that are a part of this country that are awful and terrible and, we should be ashamed of and we should never discuss, right? So how do we come to embrace the totality of what this country is in an honest, sincere way? How do we come to embrace the totality of who we are, who our parents are, who the people are that we look up to or think we should look up to. Like if we think of a Martin Luther King Jr., you know, oh, Martin Luther King Jr., some people are like, he was wonderful, he was this, he was that. And, you know, we find out that he was a philanderer and he was cheating on his wife, or, you know, maybe he and his wife had an agreement, but, you know, the word on the street is that he was having relationships with women other than just, you know, Mama Coretta Scott King, you know. So how do we reconcile that? How do we accept that? I remember reading the autobiography of Nina Simone, and I love me some Nina Simone. And when I read her autobiography, it was like I just couldn't seem to go on with having a relationship with her, because she seemed so cuckoo crazy and so self-hating in her autobiography that I'm like, how can I appreciate her art when I can't appreciate and respect the artist? From what I saw in her biography, I think it was a biography, but it might have been an autobiography, I don't remember. And, you know, at some point it was like my love of her music just overtook, and I continued to listen to and enjoy, hey, Black Love Brother, I continued to listen to and enjoy, you know, Nina Simone, and had to somehow find a way to reconcile, you know, who I understood her to be, and you know, kind of what that meant into totality, and love and accept her. I see that today is the anniversary of you know, I don't know, I think it's Biggie Smalls, maybe his birth or his death. I think it's his death anniversary. And it's like, I really am not really a person who, like, I like rap theoretically, like, you know, it has a good beat and we can dance to it and it sounds good. But a long time ago, it was sort of like, I was kind of like, whoa, a lot of times I would be listening. If I was paying attention to things, I'd be like, I can't dance to this because it seems like it's like, you know, F biatches. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, no, I don't feel that way. How can I dance to this? So how do you reconcile, you know, people celebrating and being like, you know, oh, Biggie is all of this. And, you know, I don't know his music in particular, but rap is all of this. And rap is all of this too, you know, or, you know, the Pied Piper of R&B who, you know, many of us suspect and believe that, you know, he has serious issues and problems with. I understand where you're coming from. Yappo yappo. He has serious issues and problems with his relationship with Black women, or I guess Black girls, you know, or Black womanhood, Black femininity. And, you know, also some people feel that he's a brilliant musician. So how do we come to reconcile that? How do we reconcile, you know, how do we understand, you know, who people are and who we are? Because there are parts of us that we very proud to, you know, let the world know about. And then there are some things that we rather keep secret and we don't want anybody to know about, or we might be ashamed of or afraid to have exposed. But they're all a part of who we are. So, you know, just kind of like exploring this idea of, you know, how do we have integrity, you know, wholeness with who we are and who the world is, and how do we make peace with it? Now, I don't necessarily think that I have the answer, or, you know, I think that there are many answers, and I think that we go through many phases, but I do think that it is important to acknowledge and understand that, you know, nothing is, that everything is God and good, and nothing is, you know, no one and nobody is perfect, and that, you know, good and God can be imperfect as well, or perfectly imperfect and perfectly what it is, and still be loved and accepted. Just like we have to come to love and accept all of who we are. We don't have to, but we have the opportunity to come and accept, to love and accept all of who we are, to come to a place where we can love and accept all of who we are. We come to a place where we can love and accept our parents. We come to a space where we can love and accept our children, because clearly those who are parents, you know, your children are problematic, but you still love and accept them. Or hopefully you come to a place where you love and accept them, your partners, your friends, your parents, your organizations, the communities that you're a part of or that you choose to be a part of are not going to be perfect, and we still love and accept them, or we get the opportunity to come to a space of loving and accepting them, and that we're not going to have peace. That's I have a Senegalese quote for my my blog this being published. I think I already published it, beFABULOUSyou at WordPress. But, you know, there is no peace without understanding. So without, you know, understanding and accepting the totality, the light, the dark, the so-called good, the so-called bad, in ourselves and other people and in the world, you know, there's no peace. And also, I think that there's an illusion of, I think that bad is an illusion. And I think that what we intend for bad or what we think is bad is actually good. And so being able to look at, you know, all parts of things, like the parts of ourselves maybe we want to hide and we're ashamed of, maybe those parts are the parts that, you know, allow us to grow and allow us to develop and allow us to be a more whole person and a more empathetic person and a more, you know, the areas in us that like we want to hide or hurt or shame. Maybe that's where our like gold is, our wonderfulness, our brilliance and our real power. And when we, you know, shy away from that and shy away from addressing that and shy away from dealing with that, then we lose the opportunity to be our most full and our most fabulous selves. So just an invitation today to kind of explore that idea of like really trying to like understand ourselves and the world and people and situations for who they really and truly are. You know, straight, no chaser. You know, not with no filter, no rose-colored glasses. Just, you know, being able to accept, you know, warts and all, and come to love and accept warts and all. So, you know, just that's kind of the exploration today. That's the thought today. You know, how do we, you know, come to understand and be at peace with the totality, the whole, the all of it. So that's what I got. True saying, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I guess when I think of that expression, and I think that's like part of is that like the prayer of Saint Francis Assisi, something. But I think there's like seek first to be understood. I mean, no. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. But I think there's like a whole series of suggestions in that I'll have to look it up. But I don't think it's just that one line. But when I think of that, I think of it as you know, sort of focusing outward before you focus inward, when I think of it in that context. And I think that there's definitely an approach for that. I think it's like Saint Francis Assisi. I didn't know that. I don't know, but I'll have to look it up, because I think that in recovery programs they use that, and it's like a whole prayer. But you know, I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the invitation today, just to think about, you know, the things that, you know, you don't like, the things that make you mad, things that make you upset, things that hurt you, disappoint you, piss you off, you know, and how those are part of the blessing and part of the opportunity and part of the growth and part of the path and part of the work as well, and how, you know, the power is, you know, minimized when you just accept it. And accepting doesn't mean co-signing, but just, you know, okay, so there it is. Yeah, there's a wart there. Okay, and, you know, not trying to hide it, not trying to tear it off, but just, okay, there's a wart there. Okay. But that's what I got. I'm about to do notes on the news. Thank you so much for engaging in this moment of reflection and thought, and, you know, sharing any insight you have, any, you know, ideas you have that occur to you now or later, and engaging in the process of growth and development. You know, traveling on this path together. So how can we be our best selves? So that's it. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace.